Iodine is essential for glandular structure and function. Without it, you can't produce enough hormones. Iodine is an essential mineral, but one often overlooked by midlife women. Stay tuned to learn more. You are listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This is episode 177, Iodine for Hormonal Health. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause, menopause and beyond. Stay tuned as your host, naturopath Jennifer Harrington, explains how to use natural therapies to find your ultimate health and happiness during your transition. Welcome back, and thank you for your company today. Recently I surveyed my email list and asked them what topics they would like to learn more about. My top two answers were food and minerals. We spoke about food last week, so today we are talking about minerals, and in particular iodine, as not only is it an essential mineral, but it's one often missed by us midlife ladies, and it's a topic I haven't covered on the podcast before. Let's start by defining what is a mineral. Minerals are key building blocks that are essential for life. I think of them as bricks building the structure of your body. Without a good, strong foundation, a building could start to crumble and fall. And for us, the consequences of mineral imbalances can include ill health, disease, and even death. Optimizing mineral status is a primary objective in my clinic. In an ideal world, we would obtain our minerals from our diet, as our body can't produce them. Minerals are found in our soil and water. They are taken up by plants and animals that we consume. But depending on where you live, this can be a huge problem, as certain locations are known for having very low mineral reserves. Have you heard of the Goiter Belt in the US? This area around the Great Lakes is known to have low iodine levels in the soil. And if it's not in the soil, it's not in the food locally grown either. So the first consideration when trying to get our minerals from our food is the presence of the minerals in the soil in the first place. And the second is actually eating the foods that are known to be high in the mineral you are trying to increase. In the case of iodine, the better sources include seaweeds such as nori and seafood such as cod. Personally, I'm not too fond of seaweed or seafood, so I rarely consume it. If you are like me, you're not getting iodine into your diet, supplementation may be the best option. Another problem with getting adequate iodine into your body is the role of the other symbiotic nutrients. I think of iodine and sodium as best friends who help each other out. Their friendship group also includes iron, magnesium, selenium, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamin C. Any imbalance with these nutrients affects the level of the other nutrients. In my personal scenario, I started supplementing with iodine at the beginning of my pregnancy, almost 19 years ago. I started as I don't eat enough iodine-rich foods, and pregnancy increases the demand for iodine. But it wasn't until perimenopause, when I had an issue with low iron anemia, that I developed thyroid nodules, a sign of low iodine, even though I was supplementing with iodine. Not having enough of one of its best mates, iron, increased my need for iodine at this stage of my life. The next issue with iodine is its sibling rivalry with the other halogens. If we look iodine up on the periodic table, we would find it on row 17 with the halogens. The other main halogens include fluorine, chlorine, and bromine. These other halogens negatively impact iodine and have been found to have a goitrogenic effect, changing the whole body metabolism of iodine. It pulls iodine out of the body and dumps it in the urine for excretion. This is a massive problem as we're surrounded by these other halogens. Fluoride is in the drinking water in many locations, including Australia and the US. I really hope we follow in the footsteps of many European nations and have this banned. In the meantime, please drink filtered water. Bromides are used as fire retardants in many of your household items, and it's often used as a pool chemical in hot tubs and swimming pools. In this case, you're best to swim in natural sources such as oceans and lakes. Bromines are also found in many grain-based products such as cereal, pasta, and bakery foods. While we are discussing goitrogens, it's worth mentioning other dietary goitrogens. Example, soy and raw cruciferous foods such as cauliflower, broccoli, kale, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts, as these also disrupt iodine metabolism. Changing how you prepare these foods decreases the impact that they have on iodine. In regards to soy, fermenting it disables this property, as does cooking the cruciferous vegetable family. So why should we care about iodine? Remember I said that minerals are like building blocks. Different minerals have a different affinity for different parts of the family. For example, iron helps build blood, and calcium helps to build bone. Iodine helps to build your glandular tissue. If you don't have enough iodine in your body, you can't produce enough hormones. The thyroid gland is the biggest consumer of iodine. Goiter, thyroid nodules, and hypothyroidism are signs of deficiency. Other signs relevant to the midlife Wonder Woman include the thyroid's role in regulating your metabolic rate, regulating temperature, energy production, cognitive performance, weight management, heart rate, and mood. Thought that would get your attention. The second biggest consumer of iodine is your breasts. Remember, iodine is about glandular structure, so changes in the structure of your breast. Take fibrocystic breast disease as an example, as this is linked with low iodine levels. Your ovaries also need iodine, and without enough, their structure changes too. Iodine-deficient women can produce ovarian cysts and are at risk of developing polycystic ovarian syndrome. Did you know the endometrial lining of your uterus is glandular tissue? Uterine fibroids are an example of a possible iodine deficiency structural change here. Although fibroids have many possible reasons for their development, I want to make sure you consider iodine as well. So hopefully you can see now why iodine is so important at this stage of life. Still, I want to stop you before you run out and start self-prescribing, as all supplements come with cautions, contraindications, and medical interactions. The biggest thing I want to warn you about is the presence of thyroid antibodies, as iodine can feed the antibodies and has the potential to worsen autoimmune conditions. If this is you, you should work with a practitioner to help support and monitor you over your healing journey. Before I go, I wanted to let you know that Women's Health Week is coming up in Australia from the 4th to the 8th of September. To celebrate this special event, I'm running a complimentary midlife fatigue online workshop. I'll leave the link for you to check it out in the show notes, and I hope to see some of you there. Wishing you a fabulous week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide, and it is not intended to replace medical advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend.